Tesla made global headlines again with their recent unveiling of a futuristic self-driving Robotaxi Cybercab at their We Robot event in LA. Ironically, this showcase took place in Warner Bros. Studio, California, where ordinary pedestrians and invited guests got to ride in Tesla's latest car. Like an amusement park ride straight out of a theme park, passengers boarded driverless vehicle and enjoyed a short trip around the studio. Except this new Robotaxi isn't just a whimsical theme park ride you see at Disneyland. With its sleek minimalistic design, glass roof, and LED taillights, it's a time capsule to a future of autonomous cars. To top it off, Elon Musk attended the event dressed in his classic black jacket, accompanied by a man dressed in a spacesuit and humanoid Optimus bots that mingled with the crowd, dancing and even sharing drinks. It truly felt like a scene out of a movie set in the future, with attendees talking with robots and gawking at Tesla's new cybercabs. At the showcase, the billionaire also proudly announced that the Robotaxi should hit markets before 2027 and could retail for less than $30,000. But considering the complex features and technology that go into making one of these driverless cabs, how realistic is that timeline? Considering the level of scrutiny it has to meet before the authorities deem it roadworthy, could Tesla be making big promises they can't keep? And more importantly, how safe is it for us to trust AI-powered, fully autonomous vehicles with no manual override? The Cybercab comes in the company's signature minimalistic design, with a compact interior and an exterior with smooth curves for improved aerodynamics. You could even say it looks like a more compact and low-to-the-ground Cybertruck. It's even complete with its single-line headlights rather than the typical rectangular ones other cars use. Another significant distinction is that, unlike other brands that at least bear the company's logo, the Cybercab is completely devoid of any exterior embellishments. Seriously, it doesn't even have door handles or side mirrors, highlighting its fully autonomous design with no options to switch to a human-driven mode. To top it off, the car's rear windshield is also completely covered up, eliminating any posterior visibility for passengers. I don't know about you, but that kind of sounds scary and unnatural. Despite having the same minimalistic feel, the Cybercab features more exotic scissor doors over the traditional hinge doors in their existing models. Perhaps this striking addition is the company's way of nodding to the fact that their Robotaxi uses more of a futuristic design. They've also gone the extra mile of making sure the Robotaxi stands out with wheels that look like gold-plated metal discs. However, when you take a closer look, you can see that they're normal, low-rolling resistance tires. They just have golden side walls that match the center cap. As you might have guessed by now, the car's interior also has no steering wheel or pedals, emphasizing that this is not a human-driven car. Instead, the company opted for a 21-inch flat LED screen on the dashboard, which I suppose would have the classic speedometer, GPS, and media controls. The car's interior is also quite cozy, with ample legroom for its passengers. Since there are fewer physical controls than other self-driving Teslas, the former driver's seat has a more relaxed vibe. So, what do you think about the Cybercab design? Would you feel safe taking a ride in this Robotaxi knowing there's no steering wheel? Let us know in the comments below. Despite putting on an impressive demo, Tesla shared shockingly few details about how its self-driving car operates. Rather than describe the specifics of how the cars work, Elon Musk spent more time describing a future with autonomous vehicles where parks replace parking lots and you can catch a movie or sleep while on the road. So even though Tesla seems to be keeping their secrets close to their chest, we do know that one of the main tenets of the Cybercab is that it has fully unsupervised self-driving capabilities. In other words, it relies solely on AI technology to navigate streets with no input from humans. During the demo, guests who took a ride in the Robotaxi also encountered a simulation of how the car charges using inductive wireless charging. At some point during the trip, the car parked on a wireless charging pad on the ground. That means in a world where cybercabs are more mainstream, we'd most likely have designated parking spots with these charging pads so you can shop for groceries or go to work while your car recharges. Robotaxis could even automatically leave the spot when they're done, ferry other passengers to their destination, and be back in time to take you home. Our cars would be a lot more efficient, which is exactly what the company is aiming for. Besides, we'd also have less traffic to deal with, which sounds like a definitive plus. Sources also say the Cybercab can hit a maximum speed of 163 miles per hour, so you definitely wouldn't have to worry about being late for work either. However, a key missing feature in these Cybercabs was that they didn't have any supercharge ports. So it's more than likely the first models will be confined to cities with charging pads. Now, let's talk about safety. There's no denying that being in a vehicle without a driver would certainly be eerie, so it's normal for you to have concerns about whether the Cybercab is a safe mode of locomotion. After all, it's one thing to drive on a movie set, and another to get to your destination safely when there are other drivers, cyclists, and people crossing. With no physical controls, passengers wouldn't even have the option of manually overriding the AI controls if it suddenly fails on the road. So what if there's a sudden collision ahead and the car doesn't react in time? What if the brakes suddenly fail and there's no way to stop the car from running full speed ahead into an obstacle? You get the point. There are so many worst case scenarios where a fully automated car could be quite dangerous. However, some people would argue that while not perfect, AI-powered cars would still be better drivers than humans who are prone to road rage or driving while texting. But Tesla's current self-driving cars still have a long way to go before even matching human accuracy. According to regulatory agencies, the company's self-driving system still has some major critical safety gaps to resolve. And considering they've recorded over 450 collisions, including 14 fatalities, people are skeptical about driving on the same road with fully autonomous vehicles that can't be overridden. Besides asking whether the Cybercabs are roadworthy, there are also pressing issues about security. A closer look at the exterior body of Tesla's Robotaxi shows that it has no door handles or latches on the inside. The only physical controls in the car were the buttons of the LED screen. So if you were a passenger in the car and the AI system got hijacked, you'd essentially be at the mercy of hackers who have no way out of the vehicle. When asked about the lack of physical controls, one of the Tesla engineers confirmed that there are plans to install some, but they'd have to keep it to a minimum. They also highlighted that the plan is for their driverless cars to never need to be overridden and that the vehicles are autonomous enough to react appropriately in emergencies. Elon Musk even claims that they should be 10 times safer than a human. But how realistic is it to expect Tesla to plan for every contingency, and is it too soon to start trusting AI with our very lives? Safety aside, we're not going to see much of Tesla's Cybercabs if the price tag is too expensive. On the other hand, Elon Musk made some bold claims that when the first vehicles hit the market in 2027, they're going to retail for less than $30,000. For context, the cheapest Tesla car, its Model 3, has a base retail price of $40,000, and even though it features advanced driver assistance systems, it's far from fully autonomous. So when we consider that the Robotaxi comes with more high-tech features like driverless AI controls and exotic elements like scissor doors, it makes you wonder whether Tesla can really stick to that price range. However, considering the company has a long history of undervaluing the final costs of its cars, while still in production, it might be safe to say history will repeat itself. After all, when Tesla first announced the impending release of their Cybertruck, they promised the price tag would fall somewhere close to $39,000. Unfortunately, when the vehicles did make it to the car dealerships, many people were disappointed to find that it cost way more than their original claims, with a starting price of $60,990 for the cheapest models. Not long after that, they stopped taking orders for that base model and made further adjustments adjustments to their pricing structure, so now it costs $99,990. That's clearly $40,000 off the mark from their initial claims, and we can expect the Cybercab to follow the same pattern. Pricing aside, how soon can we expect these vehicles to become commercially available? Well, at the We Robot event, Elon Musk proudly announced that these futuristic cars could become a staple on our streets by 2027. But like their questionable pricing system, many people speculate that their timeline is also unrealistic. For one, they'll need to figure out how to fit the cars with batteries for more mileage. Unlike private cars that spend most hours parked outside your house or office, taxis are constantly on the move, and a vehicle that requires too many hours to charge would be a concern. One of the engineers at Tesla also shared that the vehicles only come with wireless charging features, so they wouldn't even be compatible with Tesla's current superchargers. If the cars are to hit production in their current state, they wouldn't be suitable for long-distance driving, which kind of defeats the point of a taxi. So in the end, their low-carbon footprint wouldn't count for much, because you'd still need to rely on another vehicle to take you places when the Cybercab is running low on battery. Robotaxi is still a long way from receiving regulatory approval, judging by the fact that Tesla still hasn't even got the green light for human-driven vehicles with autopilot control. It doesn't seem likely that they can make their 3-year deadline. Another detail that has people questioning when the Cybercabs will be available is another Tesla product the company showed off during the event. For attendees, it was quite interesting seeing Tesla Optimus bots acting as bartenders, playing games, and even chatting with guests. But for people who had the opportunity to interact with these robots, it was pretty obvious that they were controlled by humans. So who knows, maybe the self-driving robo-taxis were all smoke and mirrors as well. That doesn't mean I think it's a total sham, but it's possible the first models of the Cybercab to launch may still need human controllers. Think of it as the way modern planes are autonomous for most of the flight, but the pilot has to take control when it's time for takeoff, landing, or in emergencies. Except with the Cybercab, the driver would be outside the vehicle, perhaps controlling the car from a remote control base. Despite theories and signs that the vehicles may not be as independent as Tesla claims, the demos are still very impressive. So while it's safe to say that these vehicles will eventually hit the market, the question is what the final output is going to look like and how soon can we expect them. And going off of Tesla's reputation for making big promises during their reveal events, it's likely that their 3-year timeline could be closer to a decade. Still, if any company has the best chance of pulling it off, it's definitely Tesla. Despite Tesla keeping most details about their Cybercab under wraps, their competitors are still going full speed ahead. Waymo is a notable contender in the autonomous vehicle industry, and unlike Tesla, they've logged far fewer incidents and even recently hit a 22 million miles driverless milestone across 4 cities. So the company certainly has a head start when it comes to experience and data. They're also less reliant on AI software. Instead, they use a combination of LiDAR, radar, and cameras for their navigation, and that could be why they've had fewer accidents. Also, hot on their heels, Aurora Innovations, in partnership with major automakers like Toyota and Hyundai, is developing their self-driving vehicle. They've even hit a remarkable 60,000 miles with 0 safety incidents and currently have 28 self-driving trucks that run on public roads. But some people argue that most companies running tests on autonomous vehicles focus more on controlled simulations and are far from ready for real-life scenarios. What happens when a driverless car gets cut off in traffic or experiences technical failures? A human could slam on the brakes as a reflex, but would an AI system have the same reaction time? We also have to consider the ethical dilemmas a self-driven car could potentially face on the road. For example, if a child ran onto the street and the vehicle had to make a split decision between hitting them or running off the road and potentially hurting its passengers, what would it choose to do and how would it make that call? As impressive as ChatGPT and other AI tools are, they're still occasionally wrong. But while we consider getting historical facts wrong or miscounting the number of R's in the word strawberry a minor hiccup, a driverless car that makes a mistake could have potentially lethal consequences. And like with all things technological, there's also very real danger that it could be hacked. There are so many things that we have to consider before putting fully autonomous cars on the road. And if cybercabs and other self-driving vehicles hit the market before they're truly ready, it could be fatal. During the event, Elon also showed off a one-of-a-kind futuristic robo-van that can contain 20 people, showing his company's long-term dedication to creating a world where transportation is fully automated. But as we've seen, we're several years away from having to worry about street racing with AI. Still, it's evident that artificial intelligence is advancing at a lightning pace, and pretty soon we could find ourselves in a future where cars with steering wheels are considered antiques. And knowing how to drive is like knowing how to use a typewriter. But with all that said, what do you think about Tesla's Cybercab reveal? Beyond the shiny exterior, do you think driverless robotaxi are too dangerous for public use, or should we embrace such technology, especially considering their low carbon footprint could, help the planet?